fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, 22 mile Uthenwoldt. Is it 22 mile? What is it? 8 mile.
Joke's ruined.
8 mile Uthenwoldt. And this is the fantasy footballin' show.
How did you do that, man? How'd you come up with that? There is a movie, 22 Miles, with Mark Wahlberg. I thought you were making.
Does he wear a black hoodie in that one too?
Absolutely not. So I thought you were talking about my muscles.
Maybe it was. I think he. If there's a movie called Contraband, I think he wore a black hoodie in that one. I think that was a Dwayne Johnson though.
I can't remember. Oh, it was Dwayne Johnson.
Okay, cool. So, anyways, today's episode, Week 14, Thursday night takeaways. If you watched that game last night, it was super crazy. So we're going to talk about it right now. Jason, you watched that game?
I did. Before we get into it, I have to give some shout outs. We get a little bit of famous on our side, and everybody wants to know they're related to us. Give a shout out to my sister, who's always she subscribed. She was a 38 subscriber. She's somebody who has always looked up to me, and I was always her favorite sibling because I'm her only sibling, and I am taller than her. So she had to look up to me. So either way, I win. Thank you, Diana, for subscribing. For all the other jabronis out there, if you want to help us out like my sister helped us out, please subscribe. It goes a long way. We had a lot of subscriptions this past week, and it is like crazy how good that feels. We appreciate it. If you give us some likes, we got a lot of likes on a certain video, and that was awesome. It was just like 10, mother effer 10.
10 likes, yeah.
We love the deep thought. We love to go unlocking our brain and fantasy football and see what we could do to help everybody out and get some deep conversations. We love it.
So shout out to our 39th subscriber, Sanjay Christopher. Thank you so much, dude. That's awesome. Thank you so much for subscribing. And then yeah, our 38th was Diana. I don't know if you said that was I can't remember if you actually said which one that was.
I did.
Oh, well, good for you, Jason. So now we'll stop getting hassled by the Uthenwoldt clan.
They're all subscribed, and we're taking over this channel. Do we know who the 40th is, Tyler?
No, that was just random. So
I
try to do as much shout outs as we can, but sometimes it just, it doesn't tell me the name of the subscriber. I don't know how to tell that.
Yeah. All right. So what you were asking me earlier, did I watch this game? I did. And it was an absolute boring, sorry game until the last minute 50 of the game. And then it was exciting. I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. And then the game was over. And it was this guy here, apparently. It's hard to do this off the camera. I try to get the best footage of him grabbing his crotch, telling the NFL that he's not done. He's not done. 13 3 years, but he's not done.
So when you say you try to find the best footage of him grabbing his crotch, did you Google Baker Mayfield's crotch?
Baker Mayfield's crotch. And I had to go to 3 videos because this damn Delaware versus Villanova football score is at the bottom ticker, and it keeps blocking out the crotch. I have to find a good one. This is the best one I could get. Just so you know, 5 years ago, Villanova won 28-7.
Yeah. Well, you should save people the time and post that to Google. So when people Google Baker Mayfield's crotch, at least they'll have the best picture for it.
I wish there was ways to request things to Google and be like, give me better footage and photos of Baker Mayfield's crotch.
I don't even understand why. So anyways, so yeah, the Rams hosted the Raiders last night, if you didn't know. And Baker Mayfield got signed by the team 48 hours before, was given the playbook before the plane ride over. And he was saying that the biggest help for him was that if you watch Hard Knocks, you remember Bill Callahan? He was like that huge fat dude that was just crazy. He always sat in a chair. Like, he was hilarious. that guy's offensive lingo was the same as Sean McVay's. So that translated really well. So that's why he was able to do a lot of what he did last night. I don't know. Did you hear anything about that, Jason?
No, but I did see that like 70% of his passes were play action.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
play action, play action, play action.
yeah, and that's from, I mean, in that Cleveland system, that that Mike Callahan or whatever I said system, they ran the hell out of the ball all the time. So, and you see here, I mean, they only ran the ball 22 times, and they threw it more than they ran it, but they had to do that because they were down most of the game anyways. But yeah, I mean, I thought the game was interesting all the way through because I really wanted to see if Baker Mayfield was going to start, and then what's his name started. I can't even think of his dang name.
Wolford.
Yeah, Wolford. Thank you. And so I thought he got injured because his neck was hurt. Sean McVay said that this was all part of the plan. That they wanted to get Baker Mayfield on the second or third drive, and they just decided to go with the second drive. So Wolford's fine. It was just this was all part of the plan, and Sean McVay has already confirmed that Baker Mayfield's going to be the starter for the remaining 4 games of the season.
They must think they still have a chance to make playoffs.
So I was listening to some, I think Mike Florio today, and him and Chris Sims do like a really good Good Morning Football America or something like that. But he was saying that they need draft picks so bad that in the offseason, they're probably going to trade Jalen Ramsey for a 1. And they're probably going to showcase Baker Mayfield right now and try to see what they can get for him in the offseason.
That makes perfect sense because the Rams have been giving up everything for the past couple of years to get players to make it to the Super Bowl and get something. This was eventually going to catch up to them. And now, from what you're saying, it looks like they have to give up one of the best cornerbacks in the league, Jalen Ramsey, which sucks. But, I mean, they've kind of dug themselves this hole trying to get everybody. Matthew Stafford, they had Von Miller,
F them picks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then, they got rid of Von Miller at this right time because, he's out for the season now. So, yeah, I do think that they are going to get rid of Baker Mayfield, even though they would like to keep him as a backup. I mean, really. But after last night, everybody's saying a lot can change in the next 4 weeks, but he's probably earned himself another crack at a starting job somewhere. So it's interesting.
Let's see if he does.
Oh,
I mean, I know he only learned the playbook about 48 hours before the game. He did only throw 1 touchdown. He got a total of 14 points. He played 85% of the game. And was going against a weak-ass Raiders defense.
Injured, too.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on him just yet.
No. Like they were saying, and I was listening to other people. This is like what Baker Mayfield needs. Like he doesn't do really well with a really structured game plan or all this kind of stuff. Like if you just put him in and let him play like backyard football, he actually does a lot better. And so they were saying that this is kind of if he was going to succeed, it'd probably be in a position like this where you just throw him in and play off of emotion. But I was surprised, dude. I mean, one thing he can do is he makes really good throws of the football. When I was watching that game, I was like, dude, he threw a lot of low balls, but there were some balls that were great. And especially on that final drive, dude, he hit some amazing throws on that. So I don't think he's your long-term solution, but I do think that he's going to be a really good backup, but he's going to get another start at it. I do think he's going to get another crack at a starting job, but I don't ever think he's going to live up to a number 1 draft pick,
No. I swear, if he goes to the Colts next year, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh no, dude! There's no way. That'd be crazy.
I agree with Tyler. I agree with you that he had a lot of poor throws because there was a lot of throws that were straight to the feet. He did have a throw on that 2-minute drive that looked good, but I feel like it was more of the wide receiver making the play than the throw.
Skornick, you're talking about the Skornick? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
but his best throw of the night is what counted, and is what got him that touchdown to Von Jefferson for the win. That was a beautiful throw. That was a great throw. So it's a throw that counts.
And let me tell you something about that. That was, even Baker Mayfield said that he was surprised, man, like that he saw press coverage in that situation. They should have been playing zone. They should have been defending the end zone. They didn't have any timeouts left. And for them to play like man press coverage right there was like the complete opposite correct decision. It's like the worst thing you can do in that situation. So yeah, dude, I just thought that was funny, and especially missing like one of their top cornerbacks, and they do that kind of stuff. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I saw that on that play they actually had that safety come down, and I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
Their defensive coordinator, I think they already said that they're probably going to fire him first.
First, he's first to go, man.
Well, they can't fire Josh McDaniels. So the last time he lost was against the Indianapolis Colts when they first put in what's his name? They benched Matt Ryan. So, Matt, and it was whatever, it's Jeff Saturday's first game, and they lost that game, and then they lose this game with Baker Mayfield coming off a plane. So things are not good for the Raiders right now. If they could have won out, and they could have won out and made the playoffs, but now I don't think so.
They were one of the hottest teams in the league going into yesterday's game. The way they were playing, their defense is not, ranked 31st in the league. But their offense was scoring points, scoring a lot of points. Derek Carr was playing well. Davante Adams was playing well. Josh Jacobs was playing well. They were able to outscore teams. And this should have been like a cakewalk with this defense, but this Rams team that's just beat up. I thought I put Derek Carr as a boom, thinking that he was going to just blow up, and him and Davante Adams were going to kill it against this Rams defense, this passing defense that's like ranked in the 20th for best defense in the league. And it didn't happen.
Their game plan, dude. It all came down to like coaching and game plan there. Like they did not respect the Rams offense at all. They're like, all right, we scored a touchdown. We're just gonna run the clock out for 3 quarters. So Davante Adams, like he was killing. I mean, he wasn't killing it, but he did pretty well in the first half. He didn't have one catch in the second half. And like I just saw a couple stats today. It was like if Josh Jacobs gets over 100 yards, they're like 7-0. If Davante Adams has a big game, they're like 5-0 or something like that. Well, Josh Jacobs only had 99 yards. It should have been, it might as well have been 100. But yeah, dude, Davante Adams, when he has these games, they never win. Like look at it. You can look at like every single time he has like 3 receptions and like crap yards, they never win.
And the thing is, I noticed in the very beginning was that they were really trying, in the first half, they were really trying to get Mac Hollins involved. They were doing like
jet sweeps.
Yeah, jet sweeps to this guy, and they were like throwing it to him. I'm like, what? Why are you trying to get this guy involved so much? He's your what, like 3rd or 4th like playmaker on the team? Like that was just, it was ridiculous. I'm like, why? Give it to Josh Jacobs, give it to Davante Adams. Why are you doing all this plays with Hollins? Like
I feel like they were just like using this as a test game or something, like they didn't treat this like a real game. And you could tell that it was kind of like Johnny Utah. Oh my God.
Point Break.
What's the name is that the name of the beer company, the brewery? Point Break?
Georgetown Brewing.
I wonder if that's from like Georgia or something like that.
You want me to go undercover as a surfer? Whoa.
I'm an FBI agent.
Johnny Utah.
I love that movie, dude. I still haven't watched the remake of that. Where they're like, oh. When I was a kid growing up, dude, that was all I knew about football was Johnny Utah, and then I watched The Replacements, and I think he might have been Johnny Utah in that movie too. He looks like a good quarterback in that movie. Old lefty like Tua. But yeah, dude, what was I going to tell you? You were telling me all this crazy shit or stuff.
Yeah, it was just like they were trying to get Mac Hollins involved, and I don't know why they so much about opening him up in the playbook when he's like, the third or fourth, playmaker on the team when you got better options. It just didn't make sense.
Did you watch that last punt, dude, that went down like on the 2-yard line? Did you see him doing the gritty next
Yeah.
to the I know. I thought that was kind of cool, but I was like, dude, that's nothing like. If I was a coach, I'd be like, get your ass over here, dude. Like, we do not need to be like acting like we won the game right now. And then what happened?
Yeah. Then this Baker Mayfield took it down with no number one receiver and won the game.
Well, I do want to say that Foster Moreau, dude, like he's been on my waiver wire show. Like, this was such a different game. So Derek Carr only threw the ball 20 times, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they ran the ball 38 times. And so it's like I can't really get much from these loss, from the Raiders receiving numbers. Because this is like an outlier of a game. Like they thought they were going to play like the worst team in the league, pretty much, is what they thought. And that's what they played like. But there should have been an adjustment, like, hey man, like they're coming back. Let's not do this. Like, I don't know how good, and it's funny because the Patriots are so good at we're so awesome at second half adjustments. That must have been all Bill Belichick, dude, because literally they've lost so many games this year. I think that Josh McDaniels does not know how to make adjustments, during the game and stuff.
Yeah, well, that was part of his problem in Denver too when he was a head coach there. There's stuff that he still needs to learn, and that's definitely one of them. I didn't think Foster was going to have a big game this week just because I thought how the game should have been played. But I figured, even Josh Jacobs, his night was saved because he was able to get that touchdown on the first drive of the game. He did have 99 yards. The Rams their defense give up an average of 96 yards a game. And I think it's 3 point.
Rushing. Rushing you're talking about, right?
Rushing. Yeah. The Rams give up an average of rushing of 96 yards a game, 3.9 average. Jacobs was coming into this in the last 4 games have 5.3 average. And this game, he averaged 3.7. And that's even without Aaron Donald. I did notice, I don't know if you saw this, but their guard in the first quarter went out, Alex Bars. He went out in the first quarter, so they had to bring up a backup. I don't know much about the backup. What do I have his name? John Simpson. He was actually their third string because their second string guard was already out. He was inactive for the game. I don't know if that happened. You not giving much of a run space or giving Derek Carr some time. I saw Derek Carr having to run out of the pocket quite a few times.
Yeah, when he did well, it's not like he was running between the tackles very well. It was mostly the outside pitches and stuff that he was getting his yards on. So I think you are onto something with that. But you know what? The Rams did not get one sack, even with that injury on the offensive line.
Well, when you only throw the ball 20 times and then you run it 38 times, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to sack. Even in the fourth quarter, their right tackle went out. Jermaine Eleanor. So that didn't help much of anything either. But they just continue to run the ball. Funny or not funny, but a good thing to actually look to is that Josh Jacobs. You can tell he hurt his hand. He did something.
Yeah, he fell I think it was his wrist, dude.
His wrist, because I saw they taped his pinky
together. Oh, they did. Okay, yeah. There you go.
He was throwing up pox signs when he was throwing out stiff arms. He's when he went out, White got the ball for those few carries, and Amir Abdullah Oblongata.
Oblongata.
He got the catches when Josh Jacobs was out. That's something to keep an eye on because it looked like it really did bother him because he did it. He came back in the game. He even did a stiff arm on somebody, and you could tell it was really in pain even just to do that.
Yeah, man. So, I know that he was on the injury report before the game, and now he kind of got beat up again. So Josh Jacobs is getting a lot of people to the playoff. He's getting a lot of people first place positions, but you just hope that he can finish this year strong because man, they're using him so much.
Yeah. For my player applause, it was a very frustrating game because, like I said, this game was set up for the passing to just blow it up. And it's not like you going to sit Davante Adams anyway. I said play him. He only got, I think, like 8 points. Uh, or in our league, he got 8 points because he had 3 receptions, 71 yards, 0 touchdowns. He did have 7 targets. And then Derek Carr, he was my boom. My boomer bust has definitely been off the past like 3 weeks. Every time I say a boom, it's been a
Austin
bust.
Hooper, you got Austin Hooper right.
Yeah, I think I had like Lamar Jackson earlier in the year with a bust, but I think next week I'm gonna do a bust. Let's see if we get a boom. But Derek Carr was projected to get 15 points in our league with no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He ended up with 2 points.
Yeah, dude. So, like I said, I think that you can't really take much from this game from the Raiders because it was a coaching issue. And what you can take is, dude, Derek Carr still throws some stupid ass receptions, man, or interceptions. Like that, dude, he throws the lobbiest ball I've ever seen, man. He's just like, and even Al Michaels like, oh, a softball. And it's like, yeah, dude, like, like that's almost like his regular throw. I know he was getting ready to throw, and his offensive lineman hit him right here, like right when he was ready to throw. So I get that, but still, like, you can hold on to the ball and like drive it into the ground, like there's some other things you can do. Anyways, I just do Derek Carr just throws some stupid interceptions, man. And it happens all the time. And I do not like how much touch he has on the ball, man. I'd rather have like a Justin Herbert that just drives the ball in there. Everything is so finesse with Derek Carr. I just think it leads to a lot of interceptions.
This was that game that shows how Derek Carr really is too, because he was coming into this game as he was on fire. I said in my player pause in the last like 5 or 6 games, he's had double-digit touchdowns. He was throwing double-digit touchdowns in every game leading up to this one. Then he was going to play against a weak pass defense. Aaron Donald wasn't there to put any pressure on him, and he doesn't even throw 1 touchdown.
0 sacks and 2 interceptions. It's like, dude, what? But I'm telling you, man, it was like it's so game plan. It was so stupid.
Yeah, it
was playing not to lose,
It was like they were up by 10 points, and they're like, all right, we're gonna hold this lead until the fourth quarter. Let's run the ball.
Dude, like if I was an NFL coach, I'd be like the Buffalo Bills. I'd still be throwing when I'm like up by 2, like I want to be up by 3 scores at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if I, I mean, Derek Carr is still a borderline fantasy starter. Josh Jacobs is going to get you a championship if he stays healthy. Davante Adams, you can bet he's going to go off next game. And then I thought the way they used Mac Hollins was interesting because if they use Mac Hollins like this every game, dude, you could start him. But he's just been inconsistent. That's all.
But the thing is, they were using him crazy in the beginning, and then they just stopped.
They stopped everything, man. Like they stopped doing anything well. It's crazy. I know, man.
Tyler, how'd you do on your player pause for the Rams?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, as soon as we got into the Rams, well, mine was easy because I didn't trust in any of the Rams. And if you go by fantasy wise, yeah, like Cam Akers was touchdown dependent. Like you can't bet on him getting a touchdown. So like he would have got 40 yards, like you can't start any of these people that you really want to. And yeah, Baker Mayfield had a great last drive, but other than that, he was garbage. And you want to see how he's going to do, and it keeps you interested in what he's going to do in a couple of weeks. I was really interested in Tutu Atwell. I said that he could if you're going to start anybody, you should start him because he was the most targeted receiver last week, and then the week before that, he caught like a 65-yard touchdown versus the. I just think he kind of took over the Deshaun Jackson role, that Deshaun Jackson had last year when he was catching all those touchdowns. But watching this game, dude, he was involved even more than that. So I really like Tutu Atwell. Um, and then I was saying that Van Jefferson is going to catch all the important stuff because he's like the most trusted wide receiver there. So I actually did pretty well, except for I did say to press play on who's the kicker, Matt Gay. I said Matt Gay is a play. Matt Gay is a play. Matt Gay is a play. Sorry.
Well, to like defenses and kickers, those are just so random that you know.
Well, I was like, dude, if Baker Mayfield starts, I would actually like Matt Gay versus this terrible defense that's injured. But he only got, they scored 2 touchdowns and a field goal. But Jason, I was going to ask you, like, watching that last drive, did you feel like there was one play that kind of swung? Like, there was a determining play in that last drive, and it was, against the defense. I was going to wondered if you what you thought about it.
So if we're talking about there was 2 penalties on the defense.
One was BS, dude. One was BS, if I remember right.
One was a holding call on an interception that got him out.
That was actually a good call.
That was,
and the other one was a good call too.
That got him out of because they started on the 2-yard line. That helped them get him out. But the catch that really helped, if that's what you're talking about, by that Ben Skoraki.
Yes, Skorinek, dude. He's interesting. He didn't lead he got like 8 targets. He didn't lead the team, but you're right about that.
He led the team in receptions and yards.
Yeah.
I feel that was kind of what I was talking about earlier, where it was like, I feel like that throw by Baker Mayfield, I think like that was just a throw and it was more of a play because of wide receiver. Like, I don't think it was like a great throw or anything like that. I think it was a great play by the wide receiver. And he did that over Nate Hobbs, who returned last week after like a multiple game. He was sidelined for multiple games. I think he broke his hand and the last time they played the Chiefs. Came back. Nate Hobbs is one of their best like cornerbacks. He did it over them. He Randy Mossed them.
Yeah, Skorinek them they say in the Netherlands.
Yeah, that play actually gave a chance to even win the game, and I think it was a great play by Ben.
So that was the number 1 offensive play of the game right there. That's what sparked them. That 30, I think it was 30 plus yards. And then, after that, it was pretty much just like crossing route, and then the blown coverage on man, whatever we were talking about earlier. What I was thinking was against the defense was this guy named Tillery, right? So like if I was him, I would name my kid Art, so it'd be Artillery. But this guy named, but this my wife laughed too. It's funny I say my wife for the listeners, but I say Ray. I would tell if it was just you, I'd just say Ray. I should just say Ray. But yeah, dude, like that artillery guy just hit the ball out of Baker Mayfield's hands, and I was like, this is bullshit. This is like scripted, dude. Like the NFL is fake. And then I watched the replay, and that guy just like hit the ball out of his hand. Such an idiot.
Oh, that was the play, right? It's sportsman like that number 9. Yeah, they gave him the dead ball foul for like 15 yards.
I think it was a sack, dude. Like Max Crosby got a sack on that play. Yeah. That's what cost the game right there. Like literally, that's what cost the game right there. And I thought that was the turning point. As soon as they did that, it was like, Ben score, and then it was like Skorinek right after that. And then it was just, and then a terrible coaching play call by the Raiders that led to that touchdown. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why they brought down that safety. They only had 15 seconds on the clock, 25 seconds on the clock, and you're going to do like press coverage. Like I feel, and they had no timeouts. No, you prevent them from trying to go out of bounds and kind of let the middle a little bit open with like safety help over the top. Not this press stuff. Von Jefferson's too fast for that. Burned him. Great throw. Baker Mayfield's best throw of the night. Got the touchdown. And you know what? I was actually happy. I was like, dude, I'm glad the Raiders lost. the way they were playing, like that, it was just like it was not right. It just wasn't right the way they were playing. Like going in
Yeah.
this game could not have been this close. I was thinking the Rams were going to score more touchdowns during the game just because the Raiders' defense isn't all that great. But I still thought the Raiders were going to. I thought the Raiders were going to go up like at halftime, like 20-3, and then
Well,
he threw an interception, and Brady was like, oh.
and I saw
Hey,
meatloaf.
where's the meat
Is that what you're gonna say?
over there? Hey, the pizza's here.
Dude, you're so lucky now. You've been drinking and now you get to. I got to pound this beer within 5 minutes and then call my parents after this because my dad called me right before this video and I said, Dad, you gotta wait.
Dad, did you see that Rams right? Baker Mayfield grabs his crotch.
My dad is a Raiders fan, and so it sucks because I really, as soon as John Gruden left, I've been wanting the Raiders to be successful for a while. So it sucks. And I'm not a huge Derek Carr fan, even though it is mostly because if I was a millionaire and I lived in Bakersfield, something's wrong with you, dude. Like no offense to you, Derek Carr, and your brother, but you're probably not. Anyways, if you live in Bakersfield and you're a millionaire, dude, something's wrong with you.
Right.
You probably both have CTE. Is what I'm trying to say. Is what I'm trying to say. Because coming from two Bakersfield guys, man, like we're poor and we got out of there. So, yeah, sometimes I question Derek Carr's decision making.
Yeah.
He's all, I'm getting all my quarterbacks together, or all my wide receivers. We're gonna have a camp out here in Bakersfield. It's like, dude, you're sending them to hell, dude.
We're gonna go to the bluffs and look at all the oil rigs light up the night sky.
So we got 4 minutes left, Jason. But yeah, anyways, like I think that Tutu Atwell is the most interesting person from this team. But so I also think
you think Tutu, I think Ben.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that you can look into scoring it.
Yeah. Cam Akers, we had Bobby who was commenting?
Yeah, dude, he knows all about football.
You did. It was kind of intimidating. What was I saying? Oh, I was talking about how this was the time for Cam Akers to shine. He had 2 touchdowns last week. He had a touchdown this week. I'm still not going for it, right? Like maybe you could pick him up and maybe you could watch him, but as of right now, I'm not starting him. He got that. It looks like he's a goal line back at least, right? But
who are we talking about?
Cam Akers.
Oh, Cam Akers. Yeah, you know what? You say goal line back, and I want to be like, hell no, dude. He hits the gap. He hits the alley great. As soon as he gets touched, that mother whatever is going down, man. He just goes straight down. Like, I feel like I could take more contact in the NFL than Cam Akers. I know I can't.
He's a number 1 running back for a team that got a touchdown that still only got 8 points fantasy wise.
Yeah.
Not good.
But, but he averaged like high 3 yards a carry, but that's like really good for him. So
against the Raiders.
He's touchdown, like literally Cam Akers is touchdown dependent every game. So like if you have him and you're in a deep league, you're going to start him. If you're over 12-man leagues, you're going to start him. If you're in a 12-man league, you might have to start him in the flex if you're PPR too. But I mean, like I said, he's got 1 pass since week 2, and look, check this out, Jason.
All right.
He didn't catch a pass this last week either. So they literally do. Oh no, he did. He caught a pass.
He's the one that got the ball to the 1 yard line.
Oh, that's right. So that's his 2nd catch since week 2 or something like that. It is insane, dude. Like when I looked up when I was doing my research on Cam Akers, I just couldn't believe that they never throw the ball to him because he's so small. You'd be like, oh, this guy catches the ball all the time. He's like a small back that does not catch the ball. It's so weird.
Yeah. He's still, I mean, 3 touchdowns in 2 games. I'm still not impressed. He just, I mean, he fumbled this game. He had a fumble loss in the beginning. I figured if he was going to do well, this would have been a game going against the Raiders, who all they have is Nate Hobbs and Max Crosby. He didn't impress me. He impressed me enough to like put on the bench, but right now it's like I don't know anybody I would start him over. So I still, yeah,
You saw me pop this, right? And then you saw me crush this, right?
yeah. Pop and crush, 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 pop and crush. I hate that music.
All right, people. If you want to go watch a TV show, go watch Wednesday. It's pretty good. And if you want to go rewatch a movie, do not watch Da Vinci Code because it really isn't that good. I just rewatched it. It's not that good.
No, that's a great movie.
Dude, Tom Hanks, they're trying to make him look like he's 20 years old in that movie.
Yes. It's a stunt double.